We appreciate your help. And thank you so much for taking this time out of the middle of your afternoon to participate in this workshop. We're sure that you'll find it informative and that it will help you to get one step closer to being able to get so many of those contracts that you'd like to go after once you have your MBE or WBE or disabled certification.
I am going to share.
So my name is Malika Sankofa, and my colleague is Allison Merrick. And here at the Enterprise Center, we're responsible for the certification process. And we're going to be presenting to you today. Allison, is this the first slide, our original slide?
This is the first slide.
That's going to talk about.
Just a quick note, I want to let everyone know that we are recording this. Put that disclaimer out there, and we'll be posting the recording on our website, and I will also be emailing out the slide deck. So in a follow-up email, I'll be emailing this PowerPoint slide deck. Folks, if you have any questions, we highly encourage you to drop those in the chat box and or keep notes yourself. We have a couple of points throughout the presentation that we'll stop and answer any questions that are coming up. So let us get started. Malika, I'll let you take it away.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is my slide. Thanks, folks, for being patient and bearing with us as we do this, performance, if you will. So again, as Malika mentioned, my name is Allison Merrick. I am very proud Senior Business Coordinator at the Enterprise Center, working with a lot of different services, but particularly with our Minority Women Disabled Business Entities certification. So the Enterprise Center is a certifying agency for the City of Philadelphia. And I wanted to take a step back and kind of explain for folks who might not be familiar. This took me a long time to understand. This MBE, MW DsBE certification isn't like a driver's license where it's accepted by every jurisdiction. It's a little bit more like transferring college credits. You know, some institution recognizes someone else's institution's credits. So if you're doing work in the city of Philadelphia, Philadelphia recognizes our certification, the school district, a lot of other entities in Philadelphia. If you find that you're doing a lot of work in, let's say, Wichita, Kansas, our certification might not be the right one for that type of work, but you can stack certifications. You can certainly get multiple certifications from different certifying agencies. The Enterprise Center's certification process, we are very proud of our emphasis and investment into business development. So by going through our certifying process, that act of collecting all of those documents, answering all of the questions is a really great way for businesses to get their ducks in a line. And as I mentioned, it's good preparation if you are going after other certifications, whether they're national certifications or just in a different part of the country. So, Malika.
So one of the things that we realize is that many businesses, when you hit the ground running, you are focused on running your business, growing your business, and making it be the best business it can be. But many times businesses neglect to organize their paperwork. And we see time and time again when it is time for you to do important things that require you to have all of your documents in order, or your ducks in a row, as some people call it, that your papers are all over the place. Some things are in a box somewhere, some things are in a file, you don't know where they are. So having your paperwork organized is really going to help to set your business up for success. And it's going to prepare you to be a part of the bidding process when RFPs go out. In addition, it can also help you to do things like apply for loans. So we want to make sure that you all are working on, if you have not done so already, working on getting organized. Today, we're showing here the link that you would go to. You don't need to copy this down right now because we are, as Allison said, going to send you this slide deck. But you can refer back to this link. On our website, we have a very thorough process and a very simplified explanation of the process and of all of the things that you will need. But today we're taking the time to go through the list of required documents and to explain to you exactly what it entails, where you can get that document, what we need in order to be able to see when you're presenting that document, so that you have a better understanding of the process, both from our end. And once you gather those things together, then we recommend that you keep them either in an e-file, also keep them in the cloud. And I also recommend that people keep hard copies of them, because we know that technology is not perfect, and many of us have had computers crash before and lost all of our documentation. So we look forward to getting started with the presentation, and I think that you'll find everything that we're presenting to you very helpful.
So the order that we're going through these documents today is the order that they are listed in the list of required documents, and that's on the website. It's a little different than the order that our application is currently formatted in. It's something that we're working on. We recognize it's confusing, but just as a point of reference.
So the first thing that you're going to need is your federal tax ID number, or some people call it your EIN number. And if you don't already have one, you can go to the IRS's website. There's the link right there, or you can put in EIN number, get my EIN number, and you'll be able to apply for it. Your EIN number is your business's social security number, for lack of a better word. It's like your social security individual tax number, but it's something that you need for your business. The application process for completing it to get your EIN usually takes about 15 minutes, and the session will time out. So you want to definitely make sure that you go into it. You can't save any information, so you want to just set aside 15 minutes to go in to this website and create and get your EIN number. Then you will get a form, which again, we want you to download it, we want you to save it, and we also want you to print it. You're going to need that in the future. Many times people will ask you for your documentation that shows your EIN number.
The next item is a DUNS number. That is, DUNS is Dun & Bradstreet. It's a unique 9-digit identifier for businesses. Malik and I were trying to conceptualize what does this compare to. If your EIN number is your federal profile, a DUNS is maybe more like your LinkedIn. It's something that other folks access. As we see here, it's often referenced by lenders, potential partners. It's a profile of the business online that looks at all of the different filings and reporting. It's free of charge. If you don't already have one, you want to go to that website listed right there, and it just explains a little bit more. The next thing on our list here is NAICS code, and that stands for North American Industry Classification System. On your business tax return, if you've filed business tax returns, it's on the Schedule K, and it's called the Business Activity Code. If you're just getting started, or you're not filing business tax returns, there's a link right there to look up the NAICS code. And again, that refers to your industry. It's a classification system that folks can refer back to understand the type of business that you are operating.
The next document that you need is your SAM number. This is a number that stands for System for Award Management, and you only need this if you are doing work for the federal government. So if you plan to do work for the federal government, you want to apply for a SAM number. If you are not, then you do not need it. So as Allison mentioned before, and we talked about, you need the DUNS number, you need the EIN number, and also your electronic funds transfer. You would need all of those, including your DUN number, if in fact you are going to go after contracts that the federal government awards. The next document that you're going to need is either a business plan or an executive summary or a capability statement. If you do not have or know what a capability statement is, we do a workshop on how to create a great capability statement, and we will make sure that we send information out about it. So if you or another business owner needs a capability statement, you can attend that workshop. But you need one of these documents, only one of these documents. And it is important for you to know that your business plan does not have to be an in-depth 20-page business plan. We are really looking for a snapshot of your business so that we can understand what it is that you offer, who you offer it to, where you offer it, and what your competitive advantage is, along with your financials, which we will ask for separately. But we wanted you to understand what is involved in terms of the paperwork, either the business plan or an executive summary or your capability statement. It appears that she added a link to explain. Yes. Go ahead, Allison.
Oh, sorry. Yes, for the business plan, we do have a link. This is the same link that's listed on our website. So if you're looking for business plan samples or templates, that's one place that you can go to. The next piece on the application is proof of applicant owner's initial investment. So at this question, or the way that this question is phrased, it wants documentation to support the owner's initial investment. So that could be bank statements, loan agreements, bill of sale. And I want to take a step back. Malik and I, when we were creating this presentation, really wanted to hone in on what is the purpose of certification, really trying to understand. And while certification is a forensic analysis, if you will, of the business and making sure all things line up, the certification is certifying that the business is owned, controlled, and operated by the applicant, the person claiming to be the person who's a minority, a woman, or someone who's disabled. So looking at the applicant's investment helps paint that larger picture. It's one snapshot, helps us get a sense of what that larger picture is. Again, statement of applicant owner's net worth. In the same vein, this link here is for the template to help calculate and show what that is. That link is on this PowerPoint. It's also in our list of required documents and on our website. The application will also ask information for each of the business owners. Each owner, it's going to ask for how much money they contributed initially, the dollar value, the value of any real estate that they contributed initially, and then the years of their expertise that they brought to the business operations. Our certification application requires a number to be inputted for these things. So this is not one of those items that you need supporting documentation, if you will. This is just asking for that number.
So the next document that you'll need is a proof of U.S. citizenship or permanent residency. You're going to upload or scan a copy, and you only need one form, but that form must be something that proves that you are a U.S. citizen. It can be your birth certificate, your passport, your certificate of citizenship or naturalization, your tribal card, or your permanent residency card. And we will also need a resume of each person that owns the business. So if every person that has some stock in your company or owns some percentage of your business, we need their resume. And that is so we can understand who owns, operates, and controls the business on a day-to-day basis. So your resume should include your owners, the officers, and any management staff. And it should allow us to be able to understand your past or current employers, the dates, your titles and your responsibilities, and any applicable education or training that will show us that you have an understanding of the business that you are applying for certification for.
Debbie, it's I see your note in the chat. It's as if you read our mind. Coming up next is copy of all current licenses required by Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. So yes, sales tax license, include that in the documentation. Any licenses, registrations, permits. You also want to think industry specific. So if you're an engineer or if you're an architect, you want to include the licenses and certifications that are required to do that role. Anything that's related to key business operations. This also includes the City of Philadelphia commercial activity license. So to do business in Philadelphia, you need a commercial activity license. This is required for our certification application. There's no cost to get a commercial activity license. It does require the business's EIN or the social security number if you are operating as a sole proprietor. It requires the business income and receipts tax ID. You must be in tax compliance, which we will cover a little bit later. Once you apply, it's issued automatically. So that's something that you can do and take care of right on the spot. And that is a link to the commercial activity license website with the city that goes through, again, these requirements and is the portal for you to apply for that. You're on mute, Malika.
Thank you so much, Allison. In addition, we will also need an equipment list and property verification. For each of the things that you either own or lease, we need you to input the current value. We need you to upload the title, the registration, and or the lease or rental agreement. And it is required that you send us your lease or mortgage deed. So if your business is in a building that you lease, then we need to see the lease agreement. If your business is in a building that you own, we need to see the mortgage or deed agreement. Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry. Okay, so the next thing that we'll need are we need your current profit and loss statements. If you have been in operation, we need the last 60 days. If you are a business that is applying for the first time and you have not had any operational revenue, then we need you to do a 60-day projection of your expenses and revenue. And we also need a current balance sheet, and the same rules apply. If you are a business that is currently in operation, then we need your current balance statements from the last 60 days or the most recent 60 days. And if you are not yet in operation, then we need a projection of your balance sheet. And now Allison is going to go through all of the documents that you need that are related to the finances of your business.
Right. So the application requires the bank authorization form. Want to make it very clear, please do not send us a copy of your bank card or your credit card. That's something that we get a lot. Rather, we need the form, the bank authorization form. So for all bank accounts, and this form shows who's authorized signers, who has access to those accounts. It's also known as a bank signature card. We would also accept a statement from the bank verifying the signers and restrictions on the account. So again, taking that step back, what are we looking for? We're looking for who has access to this bank account, who is authorized to use that. So we don't want a copy of the bank card. We want the bank signature card form or a letter from the bank explaining that. Pretty self-explanatory. Business bank statements for the most recent 3 months. So there is literally month 1, month 2, month 3, a spot for you to upload a document for each of those bank statements. This is one that's an if applicable. So if applicable, if there are loan agreements for the business, there's any promissory notes for the business, any lines of credit, we want to see those as well. So we want to see, let me go back. We just want to see the proof of that, and there'll be a place for you to upload those things. There is also a requirement for the dollar values of gross receipts for the last 3 years. So this is not, again, this is one of those where a number needs to be put in. It's not the, you don't need to upload anything as proof of, any documentation for proof. You are just putting in the value of the gross receipts for the last 3 years. It will require business tax returns for the last 3 years. We need the full tax return, all of the schedules. If we get this a lot, if a business hasn't been in operation for 3 years, we ask that you upload the owner's personal tax return for that year. So where there's a requirement in the application, in the application form for business tax returns, if the business didn't file, hadn't been in operation that year, we ask that you upload the business owner's tax return.
And Allison, I want you to check out the chat, because there's several questions in there, but I'm glad that you brought that up, because many people feel that because they haven't started operating their business, that there's some things that that you won't have. But I don't want you to be dissuaded from going after certification, because there are lots of businesses that apply for certification and are approved for certification, even though they have not started creating any revenue. So the next document that you're going to need is a signed registration affidavit. This is a document that the City of Philadelphia put together. And the affidavit just simply says that you are who you say you are, that you are running this business, and that you are applying for certification. So you want to sign and upload a copy of that application, and the link is right here. The next document, oh, did we talk about? Oh, we didn't. Okay, we'll get back to that. You will also require your tax clearance certificate. And at the end of this, we will come back to this, but you are required, in order to do business in Philadelphia, you have to, and get certified, you have to have your tax clearance. And so we're going to go through the steps. You're going to use the vendor contractor for the compliance type. And if you're not in compliance, then you simply need to go on to the City of Philadelphia's Revenue Department website, get into a payment plan, which they will set it up how much money you need to pay for that month. And then you will need to remain in compliance status in order to continue to get that tax clearance certificate. Now, this is for businesses that are applying for a disabled certification. You will need to have that document that we talked about, 2 documents earlier. You will need to have it signed by your physician in order to certify your disability. That is the only thing you need, but some people get confused and they think that they're applying for all 3 of the certifications. You can apply for 1, 2, or 3 certifications if they are applicable to you and your particular business, but we don't want you to be confused about that. So you only need to have your physician sign the document if you are applying for disabled certification.
I changed the background of the PowerPoint just before the presentation. I will fix this slide. We do have a link to the physician disability form. And just one point of clarification. So everyone must sign the OEO affidavit that if you're applying for 1, 2, 3 certification types designations, we need everyone to sign that. If you are applying for the disabled designation, there's an additional form, and that's what Malika was saying. That's the one that needs to be signed by a physician, and that's a separate form. The link is online, but I will put it into this PowerPoint before sending it back out.
Thanks, Allison.
So we're gonna pause here. We know we dumped a whole bunch of information. I'm gonna go through the chat at this. I'm gonna read through some of these questions. Erica asked can you apply for all of the designations at the same time? Yes. So with the Enterprise Center, like we've been saying, we offer the minority-owned, woman-owned, and disabled-owned. To apply for just one, it's $200. If you're applying for two of them at the same time, it's $375. I don't know the number for applying for all three at the same time. I'm sure that's on our website. I know for a fact it's on the website.
Sadia asked, it appears that this applies only to those businesses located in the city of Philadelphia. And I know, Sadia, that you're out in Collegeville. No. What this certification does is it certifies you to be able to go after any RFPs that are in Philadelphia. So no matter where your business is, we've had businesses from California, Chicago, Maryland apply for certification in the city of Philadelphia. And it just allows you to be able to respond to and go after contracts that the city of Philadelphia and the school district of Philadelphia put out.
I see another question talking about entity type. After this question portion, we're going to go into the documents required for each of the individual or each of the different entity types. So we'll be touching on that. I see a question about veteran owned. Currently, the Enterprise Center does not offer that designation. Joel, if you follow up with me afterwards, we can try to find a certifying agency that does offer that designation.
And Tamara wanted to know, does Delaware have reciprocity with this certification? And I think that the answer to that is no. This certification applies specifically for people who are going after and plan to do work in the city of Philadelphia, either for the city or businesses related in the city, and also the school district of Philadelphia.
And kind of throwing back to the beginning, I would check with whether you're trying to do work with the state, if there's a specific vendor in Delaware that you're trying to do work with, I would reach out and connect with them directly. They might accept the Enterprise Center's certification for the city of Philadelphia. That's just something that you have to take a little bit more time with and reach out to. There was another question about if the PP loan agreement counts. Yes, that is a loan that we need you to upload the loan agreement information with. If you got the PPP loan through a bank that is different than your business, your typical the bank that you do regular operations with. Sorry. We've had a couple of clients lately who have applied for certification. They submit a loan agreement for, let's say, TD Bank, a PPP loan agreement with TD Bank, but they're doing business banking with Wells Fargo. That gets tied up a little bit in our system, but we'll reach out, we'll ask for a clarification. That's just one thing to keep in mind. If you're banking with different banks, we will need to see that bank authorization form for the different banks that you're operating with. And again, thinking back to on our end, we're doing this forensic analysis of the ownership of the business. And that's why we're looking for everything to add up.
Tawanda wanted to know, are tools included in the requirement for equipment? So we don't want a full list of every single hand tool that you have. If you own hand tools, then you can simply put tools, and if it asks for the value, you can put a rough estimate of the value. We are concerned if you own any equipment, we do want to know what equipment you own and the value of it. And if you are leasing any equipment, then we need to have a copy of your lease agreement.
See a great question here. Is there a minimum or maximum revenue to become minority certified? Nope. While we are asking questions about gross receipts, like those numbers, that revenue number, that is not because we have a maximum or a minimum. It is so that we're cross-referencing with all of those other documents.
Dwayne wanted to know, in terms of your bank authorization, does the order of signatures matter on the signature card or the signature letter? And I would say that the answer to that is no. As long as the people who are certified to be able to sign, it is our goal to make sure that the people that are responsible for the business have some say in terms of the signature that is required in order to make withdrawals from the bank.
I see several questions about NACES codes. I would highly recommend, if you're looking for what code to use, the link that I shared that's on our website, again, in this PowerPoint link, directs you to the coding system, the actual coding system. So it's very searchable, user-friendly. I highly recommend looking at that. I saw a question about tax documents. If folks haven't filed taxes, any of those unique situations, reach out to us directly. You'll be receiving an email from me after today. Reach out to us directly. We want to help set you up for success and direct you in the right direction.
Someone wanted to know, how long is the process? Normally, the process takes approximately 60 days. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but we try to keep it within that window. So much of how long the process takes has a lot to do with how quickly we receive all of your information. The system is designed so that you are not allowed to pay, and we are not allowed to start your application until we have all of your documentation. So which is why we have set it up, and we encourage you to make sure that all of your documentation is in order and that you're able to upload it at once and then pay for the process to begin. You will receive a letter notifying you that we have received your application. And then at that point, if there's anything that is missing or if we need clarification on anything that you've uploaded, then we will reach out to you with questions. And part of the process includes that after all of your documentation is looked over at our site, that we will call to set up a site visit. Right now, site visits are currently taking place virtually, but we will call to set up that site visit. And once that site visit is in place, you are nearing the end of the process. At that point, within a 30-day or so period, your application and all of the information, including the verification from the site visit, will go to the committee. And once the committee has either approved or denied your certification, then you will be reached out to.
Malika, I want to jump in real quick. Mentioned approved or denied. I can say with confidence that the only times that the Enterprise Center has denied an application, which is very, very rare, has been because we haven't been able to competently say that the business is owned, operated, and controlled. So I know a lot of folks might be concerned that if this isn't a pass-fail. We really work closely with folks. If the documentation isn't the right form or isn't the right version, again, I think to pat ourselves on the back, I think we work really close and we really work hard with our applicants to make sure that they have everything in line. And so denials are not because of incorrect uploaded information. It's more of a, we're not confident enough to be able to put our stamp on that.
And I see a question referring to how do I apply if I'm a sole proprietor? We're getting ready to start talking about that. Allison, do you see any other questions that we've neglected to answer?
I think I see a couple of questions from folks who might have joined us a little bit later. I just want to reiterate that this is being recorded. We will be posting this on our website, and then I will be sending the PowerPoint presentation out to everyone afterwards. So you'll get this slide deck, which I put a lot of work and effort into making all those hyperlinks work. Hopefully you're able to use that to your advantage as you're preparing.
Great. So Allison is going to start talking to you if we've answered all of your questions. And if you have more questions, then please, by all means, feel free to either put them in the chat or raise your hand, and we will make sure to get to your questions. Allison is going to begin to discuss what kind of additional paperwork you need to submit depending on the type of business that you have registered with the state.
Before I start, I realized I had created a poll and I didn't ask it. So I'm gonna ask this now. So what is the legal structure of your business? This will help guide the next part of my presentation. Just curious, so have you not started operations yet? Maybe you're a corporation. Are you a sole proprietor, an LLC?
And I see so many of you are thanking us. It really is our pleasure. We want to be able to certify as many businesses as possible because we know that that helps you to grow your business. And so we wanted to take the time to make sure that you really fully understand the process and all of the documents. Sometimes it can seem a little daunting, but it's really more about just pulling together all of those documents and making sure that you have them in an organized format. And so our goal is to make this process easier for you.
All right, so it looks like the majority of the folks on the call today, 68% are a limited liability company or professional LLC. That is helpful to know. So we're gonna start, like I said, with sole proprietorships. So again, these are the documents that are required specifically for if you are a sole proprietorship. We require the copy of assumed name certificate. So if you are doing operations, right, you're a sole proprietor just under yourself, we need that, that fictitious name, that registration, the DbA. So there is the link to registration as a fictitious name if you are operating on your own and you've not already done that. And then, you know, previously we had said that you can use the business owner's tax returns in place of business tax returns. If you're a sole proprietor, it will require you to upload the owner's federal tax returns for the last 3 years. And that we are looking for all of the schedules, so the entire tax return. Malika touched on, you know, we really are trying to set folks up for success, and that is one of the, not including all the schedules is one of the things that holds the process up. So for this part, including all of the tax return, the schedules, the whole form is required. Moving on to if your business is a partnership, whether that's general or limited, or you're a franchise. We need a complete copy of the partnership or franchise agreement. We need copy of assumed name certificate, very similar to what I had just described previously. And you will need the certificate and articles of formation. So this does not apply for general partnerships or franchises. This is if you are a limited partnership. For folks who, you know, might not realize or know, to give some background, articles of formation or incorporation is the form that's filed with the state to form the business. The certificate of formation is the certificate. It looks like a letter, and that's what the state sends after the business is formed. So the articles is what you file with the state, and the certificate is what the state sends back to you. If you can't find them, you know, have lost track of those, you can order copies from the PA Department of State. So if you go to that website there, put in your business information, you can order those from the state. Last time I checked, I believe it's not unreasonable. I think it might just be a couple of dollars per page. So now we're moving on to a limited liability company. I know this pertains to most of the group here. Again, we're going to need to see the articles of formation and the certificate of formation. If, as I just mentioned, if you don't have those, don't know what those look like or where they are, you can check that out at the by following that link at the Department of State. We require that you submit one of these forms, an operating agreement, your operating regulations. The certification requires that you submit one of these forms. Pennsylvania does not require that you submit these when filing. So just want to differentiate here. This is not something that you'll find on that Department of State website. This is your operating, right? This is the document that really details and dictates how your company is operating. If this isn't something that you've created yet for your business, there are a lot of online templates. As it notes here, operating agreements are state specific. So you really want to pay close attention to any template that you look at or that you pull down. Make sure that it is specific to the state that your company has incorporated in. Stock certificates and certificate ledgers. As some background, stock certificates refer to what an investor receives in exchange for investing in a company. It outlines what % of the business is owned by each individual member. These stocks can be redistributed. Records of these changes, those redistributions, should be kept in an LLC certificate ledger, and that's the paper trail that is, details who sold what part to who and how those percentages have changed. This is not something that is required by the state to be submitted when filing. It's not something that you have to send to the state when you update or you change. This is required for the Enterprise Center certification application. So take a look online. There's a lot of templates and guidance online about stock certificates and certificate ledgers. Moving on to corporation, I think we had a couple of those indicated in our group here. You will need to include the articles of incorporation, gone over this several times. There's the link again just for reference. The Enterprise Center's certification application requires that you upload the corporate bylaws. These bylaws are similar to back in the LLC when we were talking about that operating agreement, that guiding document, guiding principle. Pennsylvania does not require these to be submitted to the state when you incorporate the corporation, but as we said, it is required for the certification application. We want to see corporate minutes, meeting minutes. The application allows you to upload multiple documents, so we want to see the most recent ones, and then any minutes that are affecting ownership. If you are a corporation and you're completing this certification application, we'll need the current board member information. Nothing needs to be uploaded. There's no supporting documents that have to be uploaded for this. You'll type in the information. For each board member, we'll need the first name, last name, race and ethnicity, gender, date elected, and date of termination or expiration. The corporation also requires the stock certificates and certificate ledger that I talked about in the previous entity type. And then B corporation, if you are designated as a B corporation, if the B corporation is not perpetual, we'll need you to upload a statement of the period during which the corporation shall continue. We want to see the benefit corporation statement and the most recent annual benefit report. So again, that's for the B corporation designation only. I feel like I maybe went through those entity types a little quickly. I don't see many questions in the chat. How about an S corporation? That's a great question. I don't think there's anything unique to S corporations that are required. There's no additional documents for S corporations in the application. I see a question, if you are designated as a corporation that does not have any board members yet, I would refer back to your filing. I believe to file as a corporation, it requires the names of the board of the officers. So I'd refer back to those documents that you filed.
Do you see any other questions, Allison?
I don't. I hope that means that we did a really great job.
All right, so I have a question for all of you. First of all, I see so many familiar faces, people that are friends with the Enterprise Center, people that we know, and we really care about all of you. We want to make sure that we're able to support you in every way we can so that you can get your certification. So we're going to be sending this information out to all of the attendees today. And there are a few of you that I just need you to further identify yourself. So there is a person whose name is in Arabic, and unfortunately, I do know a little Arabic in terms of the ability to speak Arabic, but I do not know how to read Arabic. So if you can find another way, either unmuting yourself and identifying yourself, that would help us to know who to send that information to. There's also someone on here that is iPhone. And then I just need to know, I think if Big Twin Fisher if Fisher is your last name, then we'll be able to find you. But if Big Twin Fisher is and Orly Zweezy, if that is your name, then that's great. But if it is not, then we need you to identify yourself. And I think that's it. Envok, also Envok. Okay, Khalik, thank you, Khalik. iPhone, you can't. Oh, you can just unmute yourself. Can an iPhone person unmute themselves? Sharp Edge Construction, okay.
Hi, my name is Monica Hurst, and I'm on an iPhone. I didn't do the Zoom as far as visual. So I don't know if you're talking about me. Is it coming up?
Yes,
okay.
You're the only, I'm hoping that I'm talking about you.
Okay.
The only person. Yep. Go ahead, Monica. Oh, I see Monica's iPhone. I see you, Monica. No, you're not the iPhone, but I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Monica is the iPhone. I'm looking at the participant list. There's no Monica.
There's another iPhone. Yeah, there's another iPhone person.
I'm sorry. It should be MONIHEAR@AOL.com. Does that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me that wasn't being identified.
That's okay, Monica. Now that I know I have your name, you're fine. And
okay.
Put a question in. Only we will have access to your entire information.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. So the only people that I think I still need something, Envok. Who's Envok? Is that someone trying to say something?
I mean, I'm using an iPhone, but
okay. And can you tell me your at least
James? It's James. James at Emerald. It should say James at emeraldwindowsinc.com.
No, but I'll be able to find it because we did ask for your business name. Thank you so much, James.
No problem.
All right, I guess all of you who really want to be, you know how they say, stand up and be counted for. I guess we.
If you think of any other additional questions, drop those in the chat. We are going to, it looks like we still have some time. We'll go through the tax compliance information. So for folks who are interested in learning more about that, stick online with us. If you have any questions, drop those in the chat and we'll read through those. To reiterate, we'll be sending this PowerPoint out. Really look forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you submit applications coming up soon, but I will go back to the tax compliance piece.
I recommend everyone pay attention to this because because you will need this document in order to be able to, for us to complete the certification process.
So I'm going to. So when you click, does everyone see the tax clearance webpage right now? Malika, can you see that web
Yes.
page?
Yes, it can be seen, Allison.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's a little fuzzy, but it can be seen.
So I clicked on the tax compliance website. This is what it looks like. So you are going to click on City of Philadelphia Tax Clearance System. It'll bring you to this Department of Revenue type right here. It has a note here about using the system. As is indicated in the PowerPoint, you should, for the compliance type, so you select compliance type, there's a lot of different ones here. For the purpose of getting the tax clearance, you're going to select vendor contractor. And at this point, it's going to ask you to insert the entity name. It requires you to include an entity ID. So if you're going to use the EIN for the business, you want to select EIN. If you're going to use your social security number, you want to select that. And then you'll hit search. This is a system for you to check on your own business compliance or tax compliance. So won't go through any of that right now. I did just want to say, or to show this, the tax compliance will deliver a certificate or a letter. If you're having a hard time, if you can't print it, I just wanted to show the feature of printing to a PDF. So you can turn any screen into a PDF. If you hit print, oh, I think I need to share my whole screen. Give me just a second. All right, so again, this is to download the document as a PDF rather than printing it. You would select print. And then here, where it says destination, rather than putting a printer or connecting to a printer, select save as PDF. And then that'll allow you to save whatever web page or whatever you're looking at. It allows it to be saved as a PDF. So that is a way, if when you pull down when you complete the tax compliance page and it shows the certificate of tax compliance, if you're having a hard time printing it or saving it as an image, this is another trick or way to do that. So I think that is definitely it for us on presentation.
We do have a couple more questions. So someone asked, as a new business, will I need to apply for a commercial activity license? Yes, you need to have a commercial activity license in order to do business in Philadelphia. Currently, the commercial activity license is free. It has been for the last couple of years. So I definitely recommend that you get it. Also, someone asked, is there any way that the process can be expedited? So we do not want to promise you that the process can be expedited. We have people call us all the time and say, oh my God, my contract's coming up next week. Can you please certify me? Unfortunately, because of the number of people that are working in our office and the circumstances under which we're working right now, we cannot guarantee you that we can expedite it. However, we will work as quickly as we can to get it done. And we are also, in some circumstances, able to provide you with a letter that lets whoever you might have an upcoming contract with know that you are involved in the certification process. Let's see, is there any other questions? Tawanda.
Yes, so Tawanda, if you, or for anyone, if you have an LLC and then you're also you're operating under a DBA, a doing business as, we would like to see the fictitious name for that. In terms of, can you get this certificate? So let me take a step back. I understand what you're asking now. Twanda's asking if she's doing operations under an LLC name and then also under those different DBA names. Because it's the same entity, it does apply to those the other maybe names or entities that you're operating under. That we have certified that the LLC, that governing entity, is minority owned, so it applies to all of those other DBA operations. That does bring me up to another point, though. If you have completely separate businesses, if you have completely separate entities, so Allison Merrick LLC, Allison Merrick, Renovations LLC, those are different entities. You have to complete the certification application for each of those separate entities. We're not certifying you as an owner as someone who's minority. We're certifying that the business is operated in majority by someone who is minority, woman, or disabled. In my follow-up email to everyone, you'll obviously have my contact information. I'll be sure to share Malika's email as well.
Allison, did you answer the question about what if you are a corp that does not have a board of members yet?
Yeah, so my suggestion was to refer back to the articles of incorporation, the forms that you filed with the state. I believe that it requires, so if you filed if you incorporated as a corporation, which requires board members, I believe that form would then require you to list your board members. So I would look back to those governing documents.
You know, I want to address that further too, because I feel in my mind that we have certified corporations that have not formed their board yet. I would need to go back and look in our records, but I do believe that we have.
Can I speak for a second? Because that was actually my question.
Hi, Amanda Lopez.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Good. I'm here with Elite Touch Floors. Louis Leon is actually the CEO, and I'm the acting COO. And I know we're like 3 years into business. When we registered, I'm almost positive we did not list board members. I could list like they have suggested in the former officers that we have, but not until this year have we really branched out into other teams. So I'm almost positive that we did not register with board members. We, outside of him and I, there really wasn't anyone else on the team.
Let me take a look. Malika, could you, I think we've had some other questions come up. Amanda, I'm going to take a look to try to find a couple of things real quick.
Okay, hold on.
And this actually came up on another issue that we had with another person. I think it was with one of the loans that we were given, and they also had asked for a letter or a list of the board members or something else. It was like that or another option. And I was meaning to follow up with that person as well and mention the fact that we had not yet developed yet.
Yes, and I want to go back to that. I'm fairly certain that we have certified businesses that have listed themselves as a corporation. They've registered as a corporation, and they have submitted a documentation that says that they that they're the only person that's on the board. And they have submitted also minutes where they're the only person that is in attendance at the meeting. Someone also asked, okay, thank you so much, Sadia, great for you to come here. Thank you, we appreciate you being here. Can a new business, yes, we did answer this earlier, Athena. Yes, a new business can apply for this certification. It does not necessarily require years of operation. Some people are just getting started with their businesses and yet they need that certification in order to move forward and to begin to get the contracts that they're going after. If you do not have tax documents that are related to your business, then you would submit your personal tax records and all of the documents that are required that you have. And then we are looking at you for consideration. Well, guys, I think that that's it. I think that we have, we've answered all of your questions. We hope that we have supplied you with a wealth of information that will help you get ready for this process. We would love to see your applications start to come in so that we can begin to certify you. As I mentioned last night, I did a live on Facebook and I said, you know, don't wait until the new year to start your resolution, but be resolved to start getting all those things together so that as you jump into this new year, that you are prepared for all of the business and all of the great things that you deserve. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of your help and we appreciate you all for tuning in with us. As Allison says, she's going to send out the information in an email. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach back to us. And we thank you. We wish you a continued safe holiday season. Please be safe.